and the best predictor of the future obviously is, the precedent, right? And so none of these things go to court. They're all settled. Nobody keeps a school that doesn't really want to be in a conference in the conference. Things even in the ACC got settled. And so these things, I think this was bound for a settlement from the beginning. I think the Pac-12 and the Mountain West probably both knew that. I think, some of the language that was used when those original Mountain West Conference schools left, you might go back and look. The language that was used is that they left the conference and that they reached out and initiated the contact with the Pac-12. I think that was intentional for later settlement discussions to be able to say, hey, we didn't poach anybody. They were leaving the conference. They left the conference and then we admitted them. It's a semantics talk here, but it's kind of what these expansion and realignment things are built on. And I thought Utah State's athletic director, Diana Sabu, was very interesting, just in the last week or so. She says they were so unhappy with the offer that was made to UNLV and Air Force that they reached out to the Pac-12. I think all of that is designed to kind of undermine the Mountain West's leverage. As time ticks on, the Mountain West, I believe, loses more leverage. I don't think anybody believes that document is enforceable if UNLV and Air Force really don't want to be in that conference. And I think it's incumbent upon the Pac-12 to come and say, hey, look, here's the media number. Here's what we can pay of your buyout. Here's what we can negotiate. And I actually think that the delay on the 2026 deal, it just makes logical sense to me that some of that is tied to the fact that the Pac-12 and the Mountain West are talking, and they're talking settlement. And I think they arrive there at some point. And I think some of it may just be the Mountain West, realizing that if they want to survive, if they want to exist beyond this current media deal, they're going to have to, I think, come to some sort of settlement with the Pac-12, because I just don't see them being it. They don't have the money. They don't have the schools to get the new media deal. And they're going to need some kind of help from the Pac-12, or at least, a graceful shaking of the hands. And, if the Pac-12 wants UNLV and UNLV doesn't want to be in the Mountain West, I don't think that document is going to hold UNLV to the Mountain West.
Yeah, well, I loved what you're saying is the predictor of the future is the past. The one thing we don't have precedent on is a poaching fee.
Yeah.
That was a newly created thing out of the scheduling agreement. And I think it's a legal impossibility, I'll say, for the Mountain West to collect both 100% of exit fees and 100% of poaching fees. That's double damages for the same damage, for the same harm. And I don't think they can get there. The one thing I wonder is, I know the parties have engaged in mediation, but somewhere in the back of the Mountain West mind, they have to be thinking, well, crud, if we settle this for the wrong number, then we know UNLV and Air Force are gone, so we can't settle, but we can't make the payments that are due under this document unless we do settle.